So, my T.I, he's reacting to 50 Cent finally reacting to him. This doesn't mess up your promo tour. The hottest diss songs is the most disrespectful. That's the hottest bar.
Welcome back to Buzzbuster. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss daily videos. DJ Akademiks just jumped straight into the middle of the 50 Cent and T.I drama, and he's not holding back at all. He's throwing out heavy claims left and right. What looked like a regular rap feud is now turning into something way bigger, way messier than anyone expected. This isn't just back and forth anymore. It's starting to feel like a full docuseries, digging into T.I.'s past and putting everything on display. And if you remember how things played out last time 50 pulled a move like this, then you already know it got ugly real quick. Right now, things are heating up fast, almost out of control. So let's really break this down, because this isn't some new issue popping up overnight.
T.I, you gotta tell that what you do to.
This is a grudge that's been sitting for years, just waiting for the right moment to come back and hit hard like it never left. Before getting into what's happening today, the diss tracks, the documentary talk, and the wild disrespect, and Akademiks going non-stop like he's narrating the biggest showdown of the year, you need to clear your mind about what you think you know. This situation didn't just come from a slick comment in an interview. This runs deep, real deep, almost 20 years deep. This is the kind of tension that stayed quiet, building in the background, just waiting for the perfect moment to explode and shake everything up. If you don't know the history, then you're only seeing pieces, not the full picture, and that changes everything. So now it's time to rewind back to when both of them were at their peak and not backing down from anybody. The tension between T.I and 50 Cent didn't come from one moment. It was built step by step through regional pride, subtle shots, legal talk, and two huge egos that refused to fold under pressure. Both of them saw themselves as the top name in the game, and neither one was about to let that spot go without a fight. This was Atlanta versus Queens. T.I calling himself the king of the South, going head-to-head with 50 Cent, the same guy who flipped the whole hip-hop game on its head in the mid-2000s. On paper, maybe they didn't need to clash, but in real life, this was always gonna happen. It wasn't a matter of if, it was just when everything would explode. This whole situation really traces back to 2007. T.I had just dropped King, his fourth album, and he was moving like he owned the entire game. That project wasn't just music, it was a bold statement. He planted his flag and basically told everyone, "This is my throne, step up if you want it." Everything was lining up for him. Grammy nominations, platinum records, and the culture backing him heavy. He was sitting at the top, no debate. But then, 50 Cent stepped in during a Hot 97 interview with Angie Martinez, and yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't say T.I.'s name directly, kept it smooth, calculated. That's how 50 moves early on. Quiet shots, but they hit hard. He started questioning that whole king title, saying, "How you gonna be the king? Who decides that? The fans decide that. You can't just call yourself the king." And just like that, the tension was thick in the air. Even back in 2007, before social media was running everything, people caught that instantly. Everybody knew who he was talking about. T.I definitely heard it too. No way that went over his head. But that moment, that was just a warm-up, a light jab before things got serious. The real escalation came in 2008, and it hit through a G-Unit track called You So Tough. Around that time, T.I was dealing with a serious federal case involving weapons charges, something that could have changed everything for him. He ended up serving about a year, and people were already talking about it.
But having emotional intelligence to see a marketing role.
Then 50 Cent jumped on that track and started raising questions about the situation, putting the spotlight on it and letting listeners connect the dots for themselves. That's when things started getting way more intense and way more personal. And just like that, things went from quiet tension to full-blown conflict real fast. That whole snitch narrative, yeah, it stuck immediately. The talk that Tip worked with federal authorities to secure that deal spread quick and hit hard like a stain on a fresh white tee that just won't come out no matter what. From that moment on, it followed T.I everywhere for years, becoming part of every conversation whether people liked it or not. And one thing about Tip, he's not the type to just sit back and let something like that slide. Then 2010 comes around and things get messy all over again. T.I and Tiny caught a drug case involving pills and weed, adding more pressure to an already intense situation. On top of that, T.I ended up serving another 11 months for a parole violation, and 50 Cent wasted no time jumping right back in. He went straight for that same pressure point like it never healed, publicly questioning why he didn't take the charges and putting all the attention right back on Tip.
But T.I wasn't staying quiet. He fired back with a response that was sharp, direct, and personal, making his stance clear in a Vibe cover story and calling out that whole narrative for what it was. That 50 jumped right back in, taking it to Twitter and breaking everything down in his own way, keeping the spotlight on the situation for everyone to see. It was back and forth, no filter, real tension building with every move. Eventually, things cooled off through a mutual connection. They managed to squash it, and 50 even told Vibe the issue was dead. For a while, it really looked like it was over. No shots, no drama, just silence. Fast forward about 10 years, and everything changes.
I literally can't tell if these are all at 50.
The world slows down, people are stuck at home, and Versus takes over the culture. Timbaland and Swizz Beatz created a space where artists could go hit for hit live on Instagram. It was competitive, entertaining, and everybody was locked in watching. And T.I, always ready to prove a point, saw his moment and took it. On July 6, 2020, 50 Cent's 45th birthday, he jumped on Instagram Live and called him out directly. 20 songs, let's see what you got. And just like that quiet tension, it started making noise again in a big way. He even brought up that old Kanye versus 50 chart battle, the one where 50 took a very public loss and later admitted it made him step back for a while. That wasn't just some random throwback, that was a slick move, no question. It came off like an invitation, but it felt more like a challenge, like come outside and prove it, show everybody what time you're really on. But 50, he wasn't going for it at all, not even a little bit. He straight up clowned the whole idea in public, brushing it off like it didn't even deserve his attention. Then he doubled down in an interview, basically saying Versus didn't even make sense anymore once things opened back up. In his eyes, it was already dead. So just like that, no battle, no real back and forth, just 50 moving how he always moves. Calm, calculated, and completely unbothered by all the noise coming his way. Meanwhile, Tip kept applying pressure. Radio shows, interviews, public appearances, he kept bringing it up again and again like it was unfinished business that still needed to be handled. And here's where things take a turn. According to T.I, speaking in February 2026 on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, the two of them had actually agreed to do verses behind the scenes while they were both in LA doing shows. But then, he claims, 50 switched it up and started acting clueless once the cameras were on. Now, whether that's the full truth or just how Tip sees it, that part stays between them. But what's clear is this, that verses moment never happened, and it stuck with T.I heavy. It didn't fade, it built up over time, turning into something way bigger than just a missed battle. Then, February 2026 hits, right in the middle of T.I.'s Kill the King rollout, and everything explodes again. On the Nightcap podcast, February 6th, sitting with Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson, T.I. laid it all out. He said he'd been trying to lock in that verses, but 50 was avoiding it, straight up calling him out and saying he was ducking.
T.I clearly raps better than the Sun, but in a diss song, it's about disrespect.
50 definitely heard that, but instead of jumping on a track or heading to the booth, he went a completely different route. No music, just receipts. He started posting old Crime Stoppers clips, courtroom footage, and testimony tied to a 2006 case connected to someone in T.I.'s circle, all dropped online at once. And the caption, King Rat. Yeah, that lit everything up instantly. T.I. didn't sit on that either. He came right back swinging, no hesitation. He came in strong, making it clear that only one of them had real paperwork out there, and claiming he had proof to back it up. At that point, this wasn't just music anymore. It turned personal, direct, and fully out in the open for everybody to see. Then, February 22nd hits, and
things go even further off the rails. 50 jumped on Instagram and posted an unflattering photo of Tiny. He tried to play it off like it wasn't disrespect, saying he just wanted T.I to stop mentioning him and move on. But the internet didn't take it that way at all. People saw it as a direct shot at T.I.'s family, and that's when everything really started spiraling. King Harris didn't wait around for explanations. He jumped in fast and made it personal. He brought up 50's late mother, Sabrina, who passed away years ago in a house fire, and that move instantly raised the stakes. That crossed into a space that had people genuinely shocked at how far things were going. 50 responded how he usually does: memes, jokes, and non-stop trolling energy. He compared King to Pepe the Frog and kept everything online instead of turning it into music, leaning fully into that internet style he's known for. And somehow it kept getting bigger. Even Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mom, got pulled into the situation after showing support for Tiny, and that grabbed 50's attention too.
At this point, this wasn't just rap drama anymore. It felt like everybody was getting involved from every direction. Then the music started dropping back to back. T.I came through with multiple tracks, turning the pressure all the way up while his circle stayed active online. King Harris even appeared in a video wearing a shirt referencing 50's late mother, and that had people talking heavy across the internet. And just when it seemed like it couldn't get louder, Rick Ross stepped in publicly to support the move, adding even more intensity to an already chaotic situation. Damani also stepped in and linked up with Miss Jackson, and yeah, they made sure people noticed. Outkast samples, burning house visuals, everything put together with clear intention and no subtlety at all. At this point, none of this felt random anymore. It felt calculated, like every move was part of something bigger, unfolding in real time. The whole Harris family came together and turned the situation into a full-on rollout. At this point, this wasn't just beef anymore. It felt like a full campaign, loud, coordinated, and impossible to ignore. And while everything was blowing up in real time, DJ Akademiks was right there watching it unfold, already locked in. If this was about to be the first major hip-hop clash of 2026, he made sure he was front and center, breaking down every move, every response, every messy moment.
The hottest diss songs is the most disrespectful. That's the hottest bar.
He was covering it like a live event, non-stop. Now here's where context really matters. Akademiks, born Livingston Allen, didn't start this situation and hasn't directly dissed either side. But what he has done is turn the entire situation into something people can't stop watching. Through his streams, clips, reactions, and constant commentary across platforms, he's made this feel way bigger than just a rap feud. It's like people are tuning in daily just to keep up with the latest twist. He's given full play-by-play energy, breaking down diss tracks, reacting to Instagram posts, catching small details people might miss, and even scoring rounds like it's a fight. On top of that, he's explaining the deeper layers for casual listeners who might not catch the hidden shots or the history behind certain lines. That's exactly why his coverage started going crazy in February 2026. People wanted those breakdowns, and he delivered. Then he made a comparison that instantly clicked with a lot of viewers. He brought up Drake versus Kendrick, not randomly, because the energy felt similar in a certain way. Think about it. You've got someone who built a reputation on dominance, calling shots, ending runs, turning opponents into punchlines, and that image stuck for years. But now the question feels different. Now people are watching to see what happens when that same kind of figure is on the receiving end of pressure. Can they handle it the same way they used to dish it out? That's the tension everyone is locked in on right now. People aren't just watching for entertainment. They're watching like they're waiting to see if a king can actually be knocked off the throne. That's the energy surrounding all of this, no debate. And Akademiks picked up on that instantly. After having a front row seat to the Drake versus Kendrick moment and seeing how much momentum that created, he leaned all the way into that same framing and hasn't let go of it since. Now this is where he really starts separating himself from everybody else talking about it. While most of the internet was busy picking sides, Team Tip or Team 50, Akademiks was moving completely different. He wasn't just reacting, he was analyzing everything like a full strategy breakdown. He's looking at the music, the timing, the posts, the responses, all of it. Not just what's happening, but why it's happening.
It's like he's reading the entire chessboard instead of focusing on one move at a time. And then he throws out a question that made people stop for a second. Is this even real beef, or is this one of the smartest, most calculated rollouts we've seen in a long time? That question hit different, because suddenly, people weren't just watching for drama anymore. They were trying to figure out if they were being played, and just like that, the whole energy around the situation shifted. Now, Akademiks didn't just pull that idea out of nowhere either. He brought in a perspective that had already been circulating quietly, originally connected with Karen Civil. And Karen Civil isn't just a random voice. She's been deep in the industry for years, working alongside major names and understanding how these moments get built behind the scenes. Someone with that kind of experience doesn't just speak on things for no reason. Her take added a whole new layer to everything. She pointed out that before any of this with 50 even started, T.I had been trying to line up a versus battle with Lil Wayne, but Wayne didn't respond, didn't engage, gave nothing at all.
That's where things start to look a little different, because after that, the moves seemed clear. T.I pivoted and aimed that same energy toward 50, and when 50 posted that photo of Tiny with a "Leave me out of it" caption, even without saying anything directly disrespectful, T.I and the Harris family treated it like a full-on attack. That's when everything flipped into high gear. According to Karen Civil's perspective, that moment wasn't random drama at all.
T.I, you gotta tell that what you do to it.
It was the launch of a full diss rollout campaign, a strategy wrapped inside beef to make everything hit harder and grab more attention. And once you start looking at it like that, the pieces begin to line up very differently. What makes it even more interesting is that Akademiks didn't really push back on that idea. If anything, he leaned into parts of it. During his kick stream on February 26th, he pointed out something that had people thinking twice and looking at the whole situation from a completely different angle. He said it was straight up weird that T.I kept dropping songs aimed at someone who was publicly disrespecting his family. In his eyes, someone with Tip's level of status and legacy shouldn't have to move like that, not in a situation that personal. At a certain point, it stops being about music and starts being about pride. Akademiks made it clear, once things crossed that line, the versus talk should have been dead completely. You're not supposed to share a stage with someone who's taking shots at your family like that. That's bigger than music. But T.I didn't stop. He kept dropping track after track, keeping the pressure on and the conversation alive every single time. And it didn't stop with him either. The whole circle started getting more involved. More voices, more reactions, more noise building around it. Even 50 picked up on a pattern. Seeing all that music dropping back to back, he reportedly called it out, saying T.I knew exactly what he was doing, pushing records through the drama. And when you look at the numbers, that take starts to hit different. Kill the King actually saw a real boost in streams and sales, a noticeable jump that his recent projects hadn't been getting on their own. And that right there added a whole new layer to the conversation, because at the end of the day, whether the beef is real or not, it's working. The numbers are going up, the streams are climbing, and the attention is fully locked in. And one thing people always say, numbers don't lie. But here's where Akademiks really separated himself from everyone else just reposting clips and chasing views. He kept circling back to one thing, a very honest, direct critique of the music itself. And he wasn't taking shots at T.I.'s legacy when he said it. He was just calling it how he saw it. No sugarcoating, no bias. Because the truth is, T.I has been approaching these diss tracks like a true craftsman. Every bar feels calculated, every line polished, like someone who still takes real pride in being seen as a lyricist, a real wordsmith. That level of detail, it stands out. And Akademiks made sure people didn't miss that part of the story either. You can tell he's putting real effort into everything, the structure, the delivery, the meaning behind every line. And in a different setting, that would hit heavy for sure. But in a diss track battle in 2026, that approach doesn't always land the same.
Yo, King, when you hear this, don't get a big head, bro. Pause.
The internet moves fast. Attention spans are short, reactions are instant, and if something doesn't hit right away, people scroll past it without thinking twice. That's just the reality now.
And that slow, layered, super crafted style can end up missing that explosive moment people are actually looking for. Akademiks pointed that out, and honestly, it made sense. Because when you look at what really goes viral in these situations, it's not always the most complex bar. It's the line that shocks people, the one that makes everybody stop, rewind, and start sending it around like crazy. Think about the moments that take over timelines. It's not about being the most technical, it's about being unforgettable. The kind of line that feels bold, risky, and impossible to ignore. And that's where T.I. hasn't fully connected. Not because he lacks skill, far from it, but because he hasn't been delivering those instant, hard-hitting moments that dominate the conversation. Akademiks, even while respecting everything T.I. has done, wasn't about to pretend otherwise. He called it straight, no filter. Because in a moment like this, impact matters more than perfection.
And then he took it a step further. He basically started low-key coaching T.I. live on stream. No request, no warning, just giving out game in real time. He told Tip directly to study the Kendrick playbook, get more raw, more personal, more direct. Stop rapping like there's a clean image to protect, because the audience, they're not here for safe bars. They're waiting for that one line, that one moment that changes everything. The kind of line that hits so hard it can't be taken back. The moment that ends the round instantly and has everybody talking. And Akademiks made it clear, until T.I. delivers that kind of moment, he's not really winning online, even if on a technical level he might be the better rapper. But here's the twist that caught a lot of people off guard. The one Akademiks said was actually winning the internet was King Harris. Yeah, his son. He gave him full credit on stream, no hesitation. Said King was coming with the most disrespectful, unfiltered bars out of everyone involved. He was saying the things T.I. wasn't willing to say, taking risks, crossing lines, and delivering those moments that make people stop scrolling instantly. While T.I. was focused on deeper themes, legacy, principles, and real-life experience, King was going straight at 50 with aggressive, in-your-face energy, the kind that feels unpredictable and gets people talking fast. And when you really look at that dynamic, it says a lot. T.I., the established legend with a reputation, a brand, and a legacy to protect, was moving carefully, everything calculated, polished, controlled. But King, he had nothing holding him back. No image to maintain, no long history to protect, no pressure to play it safe. So he was swinging freely, taking bold shots, and creating the kind of viral moments that actually drive attention. And people started noticing that shift. The energy around this situation wasn't just coming from T.I. anymore. It was the entire family getting involved and made it feel bigger, louder, and impossible to ignore. That's what really pushed the conversation to another level. And when you step back and look at how everything played out, the numbers started telling their own story. The attention, the streams, the engagement, it all pointed in one direction. Kill the King was getting a boost that traditional promo alone probably couldn't have pulled off, not just because of the music, but because of the spectacle around it. The drama, the responses, the family stepping in, it all combined into something way bigger than a normal rollout. It all turned into something people couldn't stop watching. At a certain point, the whole Harris family became the main storyline, not just T.I. anymore. Everybody around him was part of the moment, and that's exactly what kept people locked in. Meanwhile, 50 Cent was moving on a completely different level, and Akademiks kept pointing that out again and again. Even while giving T.I. credit for holding things down on the rap side, he made it clear that 50's overall position felt almost untouchable, because while all the music, responses, and back and forth were happening, 50 was out here publicly brushing it off like it didn't even matter, posting things like, "I'll take these losses, LOL," acting like he wasn't even playing the same game. But behind that, he was making sure everybody saw the real wins. NAACP award recognition for Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, finishing production on Fightland, and dropping a theme track with Leon Thomas that still had a little edge, but nothing that pulled him into a direct diss battle. Every move felt calculated. And this is where it gets really interesting, because that right there might actually be what winning looks like in 2026. You don't jump into a straight lyrical war. You don't give your opponent a clean stage where everything can be compared and scored.
Instead, you control the narrative. You troll, you post, you stay visible, but only on your terms. And that's exactly what 50 was doing. He wasn't trying to trade bars, he was letting memes fly, keeping things light in public while his business moves and TV empire kept growing in the background. That way, there's no real scoreboard because he never fully steps into the ring. And when he does touch music, it's always strategic. Not a full diss track, but something tied to a bigger move, like a theme song connected to a project that's already winning. So he's still speaking, just without taking any real risk. Akademiks even compared this approach to how Drake moved during the later stages of his situation with Kendrick. When you've been on top for that long, the crowd starts to shift. People stop rooting for you and start watching to see if someone can finally challenge you. And that's exactly where 50 is right now. He's been dominant for so long, running through competition, that now people are actually excited to see someone push back. And that energy changes everything, no matter what move he makes next.
And 50 says, remember how quiet I got before the Diddy doc? Dame thought I wasn't coming.
But Akademiks kept stressing something important. 50 not caring about the music, not caring about who's winning rounds, not even caring about the rap scoreboard. That was actually his biggest advantage in this whole situation. That mindset gave him freedom to move however he wanted. And then came one of the coldest moments early on, that post and delete from 50. It wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, but it hit different. He referenced how he went quiet before dropping the Diddy documentary and reminded everyone what happened after that silence.
That wasn't a diss track. It wasn't even a direct insult. It felt like a warning. A quiet one, but loud enough for anybody paying attention. A reminder of what he's capable of when he stops joking and really applies pressure. And that one move shifted everything. The tone changed instantly. Because now it wasn't just about music or internet jokes anymore. It started to feel bigger, more serious, like something else was coming. Then, by early March 2026, 50 took it even further. He went from hinting to confirming a full documentary-style project, Surviving T.I and Tiny. And yeah, that title alone had people talking immediately. The focus was on allegations that have been circulating since 2021, involving multiple individuals, claims that T.I and Tiny have consistently denied. 50 made sure to draw a clear comparison to his previous documentary work, showing he already knows how to execute this kind of rollout at a high level. There was nothing subtle about it. He made it clear he understood how to turn a story like that into something massive, something that grabs attention way beyond just music. T.I responded right away, no hesitation. He threw it right back at 50, saying, "We can go bar for bar, hit for hit, or doc for doc." And just like that, everything leveled up again. This wasn't just rap anymore. This was turning into something way bigger. He said it with confidence, like someone not backing down at all. But Akademiks, he wasn't reading it the same way. By this point, he had turned every twist in this situation into real-time content, and his take on the documentary angle hit completely different. Because now we're stepping into something heavier. Up until now, everything, the memes, the diss tracks, the family getting involved, King Harris wearing that shirt, Damani flipping Outkast, that all sits in a space hip-hop fans understand. Beef has its own lane, its own rules. Even when it gets messy, people know how to follow it, debate it, and keep it moving. But this was starting to move into a whole different territory, and everybody could feel that shift happening in real time. You can rank tracks, argue over who's up, build playlists, and debate it like it's part of the culture. That's normal. But what 50 did in early March 2026, that changed everything. He pulled this situation out of the music lane and pushed it into something way more serious. Now, there's no scoreboard, no who won the round, no easy way to debate it. Because now the stakes aren't just about bars, they're about real-world impact. And Akademiks didn't sugarcoat that at all. He got on camera and made it clear, this isn't just entertainment anymore. This is something completely different. Now, to understand why he reacted like that,
you have to look at what that surviving T.I. and Tiny documentary is pointing toward, because this didn't just appear out of nowhere. Back in 2021, multiple civil allegations surfaced involving T.I. and Tiny. These included serious claims from several individuals describing incidents said to have taken place over a span of years in different locations. The accusations described alleged misconduct at parties and hotels, with timelines stretching from the mid-2000s into the 2010s. These are heavy claims, the kind that go far beyond music conversations and internet drama. T.I. and Tiny have consistently denied all of it repeatedly. They've described the situation as false, calling it a coordinated attempt to damage their reputation and apply pressure. And that's what makes this moment feel so different. Because now, this isn't just about perception in hip-hop anymore. It's about allegations, public narratives, and how far things can go when the spotlight shifts like this. Some of those lawsuits have already been dismissed, and in at least one instance, an accuser was ordered to cover legal fees after their case was thrown out. But at the same time, this situation is far from over. There's still an active civil case from 2024 involving a Jane Doe, described as an Air Force veteran, connected to an alleged 2005 incident at a nightclub in Los Angeles. And that case hasn't been fully dismissed. A trial date is still set for June 2026 for the claims that are moving forward. So while parts of this situation have been resolved, other parts are still unfolding, and that uncertainty is exactly why everything around this feels heavier right now. On top of that, law enforcement did look into at least one of these cases back in 2021, but no criminal charges were filed, with the statute of limitations being a major reason it didn't move forward. So, as it stands, no criminal convictions, but on the civil side, that's still very much active. And that's exactly where 50 is aiming all the attention. And he didn't keep it quiet either. That post and delete, the internet caught it instantly before it disappeared. Screenshots everywhere. And the way he framed it, "I hope this doesn't mess up your promo tour," that wasn't random at all. That was calculated, a direct callback to a strategy he's used before, because he knows exactly how to turn situations like this into massive public moments. He's done it before and made it clear he's ready to do it again.
Akademiks saw that and immediately shifted his tone on stream. He said it straight. T.I. needs to stop focusing on the music and start thinking legal. He even suggested they might have to take legal action. That wasn't hype. That was a real warning. Because once a documentary like that hits a major platform and starts presenting serious allegations to a wide audience, even if those claims are denied, it opens up a completely different level of risk. Legal pressure, public perception, and long-term reputation all at once. And Akademiks wasn't exaggerating. He was calling it exactly how it looks. This isn't just rap beef anymore. These are two completely different battles happening at the same time. One is music, online moments, and public opinion. The other, legal pressure, real-world consequences, and long-term impact. And the truth is, only one of those follows you off the internet and into real life. Now things shift again, because both sides have been throwing around talk about paperwork like it proves everything. But not all paperwork means the same thing, and that's where this gets serious. It becomes about figuring out what's real, what's proven, and what's just performance dressed up to look official. 50 has been pushing that angle hard, posting old Crime Stoppers clips, courtroom footage tied to a 2006 case involving someone in T.I.'s circle, and stamping it with King Rat like it proves something deeper. He's also pointing back to that weapons case, multiple firearms, silencers, serious charges that could have led to a much longer sentence, and implying the outcome came from cooperation. That's the narrative he keeps running with. But T.I. hasn't stayed quiet about it. Not now, not ever. He's been pushing back on that claim for years, publicly sharing his federal inmate number and challenging anyone to show real proof that his actions led to someone else going to prison. And up to this point, nobody has been able to point to a confirmed case from official records that backs that claim up.
His plea deal was based on a guilty charge for possession. That Crime Stopper's appearance has been described as part of community service, and there hasn't been any verified federal documentation showing him listed as a cooperating witness. Now flip the situation. T.I and King Harris have been throwing accusations right back.
They're gonna ask you about your 20 sexual assault cases,
claiming they've got paperwork tied to 50 Cent involving a 2009 situation connected to Lodi Mack and Jimmy Henchman. There were claims about supposed federal reports suggesting 50 gave information to investigators. But this is where things start to fall apart. Those specific documents have been widely reported as fabricated. Law enforcement sources pushed back on them, and a 2019 TMZ investigation also stated that no such report was ever officially filed. There's no verified record of 50 being listed as an informant or providing statements in that case. And when it comes to Jimmy Henchman's life sentence, that came from a completely separate set of evidence. Nothing publicly confirmed ties that outcome back to 50 in any official way. So now you've got both sides throwing around serious labels and paperwork like it proves everything. But when you actually break it down, a lot of what's being pushed publicly doesn't line up with verified records. And that adds another layer to how messy and complicated this whole situation has become. Because when you really look at it, both sides pushing paperwork claims, that's straight hip-hop theater. Neither side has come forward with documents that truly hold up under real scrutiny. What's actually being used here isn't solid proof, it's the idea of proof, the suggestion, the threat, the implication, and in rap beef, that alone can hit just as hard as facts. Because accusations spread fast, way faster than any correction ever will. Akademiks has been calling 50 diabolical in this situation for a reason. Not because he's saying he's right, but because he understands how to control a narrative better than almost anyone. He knows how to push a story, shape perception, and keep people talking without needing to fully prove anything. That's a different level of strategy. And here's the key part. The documentary threat doesn't even have to drop to have impact. The damage is already happening just from the idea of it existing. From this point forward, every interview T.I does, every appearance, every promo run, someone is going to bring it up. That question is now attached to his name in the public space, and that's exactly how 50 designed it. This is where Akademiks really separates himself from everybody else. He's not just watching the music, not just reacting to diss tracks, he's analyzing leverage, and that's a completely different scoreboard. Because when you look at it like that, this situation isn't balanced at all. The stakes are not the same. T.I, he's fighting for something real. His legacy, his final album, how he's viewed as a man, a father, a husband, his place in hip-hop culture. Every move he makes is tied to protecting and defining that identity. Every track is part of that effort, and that's meaningful. But it also puts him in a vulnerable position.
Because someone like 50 knows exactly how to use that against you. Now on the other side, 50 isn't fighting from that same place at all. He's not trying to prove anything. He's not chasing validation. His position is already locked in. We're talking about someone with a massive business empire, major media success, and money that goes way beyond music. So when he steps into something like this, it's not about survival or legacy, it's about control, timing, and impact. And that difference, that's what makes this whole situation feel so uneven and honestly unpredictable. 50's empire is still moving strong. The power universe on Stars is still active, still pulling attention. His Diddy documentary already showed what happens when he decides to point a camera at someone and turn it into content. That's not speculation, that's proven. So when all of this started heating up, 50 was in a position where he could absorb everything. Diss tracks? Cool. Family getting involved? No problem. King Harris wearing that shirt still doesn't touch anything that actually slows him down. And that's what makes this dynamic so tricky. Because when one person is fighting with real stakes and the other one isn't really risking anything important, the balance is off from the very beginning. And when the balance is off like that, the outcome doesn't always depend on who raps better. It depends on who controls the situation. The one with less to lose usually has the advantage. And that's exactly what Akademiks kept pointing out.
He even had moments where he scored it like 50 was up 4-0, and his reasoning wasn't about the music at all. It was about impact outside of music, because that's always been 50's real strength in situations like this. The scoreboard isn't just about songs. It's about public perception. It's about who controls the narrative, who gets the last laugh, and who shapes how people remember everything when it's over. And in that space, calculated, ruthless moves tend to win more often than clean, principled ones. History backs that up too. If you look at past situations, people who tried to go head-to-head with 50 in that lane usually didn't come out looking better. That pattern has been there for years, and it's showing up again. But let's really break it down the way Akademiks would. Look at both sides clearly. As short-term position, it's real. No denying that. Kill the King saw a noticeable boost in streams and sales because of all this attention. The momentum worked in his favor. On top of that, his sons gained visibility with a wider hip-hop audience. People who didn't know them before are now paying attention, and the constant flow of content kept T.I right in the center of the conversation week after week. On the music side, he delivered. Akademiks said that clearly. No hesitation. T.I and his circle showed up strong, stayed active, and kept the pressure on.
No debate there. But here's the reality nobody can ignore. Winning rap rounds against 50 Cent doesn't carry the same weight it used to, because 50 isn't really playing that game anymore. He's not focused on bars, he's focused on everything around the music. And that's where he becomes the most dangerous, because what he's using right now, the documentary angle, the pressure on promo runs, bringing attention to unresolved civil allegations, that's not something you can counter with a diss track. You can't out-rap that kind of move, and that right there is what makes this whole situation feel so different from a typical rap battle. There's still a June 2026 civil trial sitting on the calendar. Some cases have been dismissed, sure, but not everything is fully resolved. And that means this situation isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Every time T.I steps out to promote Kill the King, he's walking straight into the same setup. Because interviews aren't just about music anymore. They come with tough questions attached every single time. That's the position he's been put in, and that's the trap. And Akademiks was one of the first to call it out in real time. He saw how it was being built and explained it before a lot of people even realized what was happening. Meanwhile, from 50's perspective, this is almost all upside. He keeps his music catalog untouched by not jumping into diss tracks. He reinforces that unpredictable, calculated image by leaning into moves like the documentary angle. And at the same time, he connects all this attention back to his existing business. Shows, production, soundtracks, all things that are already bringing in results. So he's not stepping outside his lane, he's expanding it, using the moment to amplify what he already has going. And history shows he knows exactly how to handle situations like this.
Yo, T.I, let me give you some advice. You ain't see what Kendrick did? Just start line.
He's built a career off turning conflict into opportunity. That's part of his formula. So now the question gets bigger than just who had the better song. It turns into who's controlling the bigger picture. And while all of this is unfolding, Akademiks is right there turning it into must-watch content. His streams, clips, and breakdowns are pulling in huge attention, sparking debates and keeping people locked in on every update. Just like before, he's not just covering the moment, he's becoming part of how the moment is experienced in real time. He's basically the play-by-play voice of this whole situation, the go-to narrator for what's shaping up to be the first major hip-hop clash of 2026. And here's the thing about being the narrator. You don't lose no matter how messy things get. No matter who wins, who falls off, or how it plays out, the narrator keeps going. There's always another chapter, another twist, another breakdown. And right now, this story is still very active. T.I is deep in his Kill the King rollout, 50 is pushing his power legacy and closing out a franchise he built from the ground up. The documentary angle is still floating around, creating tension every time it gets mentioned. And Akademiks, He's live almost every night, reacting in real time, scoring everything, breaking it all down piece by piece, and sometimes even stepping out of commentator mode to give T.I direct advice. Unasked, unfiltered, but very specific. Akademiks has been telling T.I exactly what he thinks it takes to win the internet right now. Because the way he, and honestly the most tapped-in hip-hop audience, sees beef in 2026 is completely different. It's not really about who's right or wrong, not about who has the cleaner record, the longer resume, or even the stronger evidence. That's not what people are locked in for. It's about the moment. The line that makes you rewind instantly. The move that makes you pause and think, wait, did that really just happen? That's what wins attention. That's what takes over timelines. Now don't get it twisted. T.I is a legend, no debate. His catalog, his impact on Atlanta, his role in shaping Southern rap, that's all stamped and respected, no question. But legends move a certain way. They move with legacy in mind, with respect, principles, and how they'll be remembered. That's the lane they operate in. 50? He's not playing by those rules at all. 2 decades into a situation most people thought was finished, he came back moving completely on his own terms. No rulebook, no expectations, no pressure to follow tradition, just strategy, timing, and control. And that's what makes this whole clash feel so unpredictable right now. No rules, no mercy, no concern for how people are scoring rounds. And now, with a documentary angle aimed straight at one of the most serious and still active chapters of T.I.'s life, this situation has crossed into a completely different space. Akademiks watched it all unfold in real time, broke it down piece by piece, and through all the noise, the diss tracks, the family involvement, the memes, he cut straight to the point. The game has changed. This isn't just rap beef anymore. The culture has shifted, and the way these battles play out now is on a whole different level. And the real question is, can T.I adjust to that shift? Not just for his legacy, but for his public image, his family, and everything tied to what's coming next with that June trial date still ahead. That's what's really on the line now. And honestly, we don't even know if this story is close to being over yet. If you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to see this breakdown. And drop a comment below. I want to know your take on this whole situation.